In February of 2023, a freight train that was more than a mile and a half long derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, and caused an environmental and community disaster. Then in June of the same year, a freight train that was more than 2 miles long derailed near Williams, Arizona. Both incidents prompted Congress to commission a study which was released today.
We just thought that there ought to be some practices put in place to make sure that the railroads were applying the best practices to make sure those are safe.
Alan Rutter was on the panel that did the study. He says many long trains are inherently safe, the ones that carry a single type of cargo. But he says the trains with a mix of cargo, called manifest trains, are the ones that need more attention.
Those become a lot more complicated. It's not that they can't be run safely, but it just takes a lot more care.
Rutter and the other panelists say Congress needs to ensure rail workers are trained to the same high standards, and that cargo in manifest trains is spaced with safety in mind rather than convenience.
Are they getting it right now?
I'd say, generally speaking, more often than not.
One of the factors listed in the Williams derailment was an improper use of the train's brakes. The study says the engineer was trained on a much smaller freight train.
Bad things happen when people aren't trained in this industry.
Scott Jones from the Rail Workers Union has been arguing for increased safety standards for years. But he says one of the problems the report authors glossed over is the decline in the number of train and engine employees required to be on board these long freight trains.
Well, once upon a time, there were upwards of 7 employees on a train. Now, it's a freight train, not Amtrak, a passenger train. We now today run these large trains with 2 people on board, a certified engineer and a certified conductor.
Do you think they missed an opportunity there?
I think they did.
Okay, so they have strict regulations on staffing and everything like that, but what happens to the report now, Morgan?
So this goes back to Congress, and it will be up to Congress to take these recommendations and turn them into action.
I mean, based on everything, especially what happened in Palestine, Ohio, you would think that Congress would want to move forward with some sort of recommendation from this report, but Congress tends to move kind of slowly on these kind of things,
very much so.
regardless of the risk. Thanks, Morgan.